So basically, we have the first recording from our failed podcast, just to remind us of like the trials and tribulations of like how far.
Hey, but this was like in the field though. This was actually in chemistry. This is like what was supposed to originally happen.
Yeah, we did this in the lab, but that's where we got the idea too.
Yeah.
And we got it from MC Fresh.
Yeah, MC Fresh.
MC Fresh is, he was just a guy in the lab who sat across from us. I don't even think he was a real MC because he freestyled. It was alright.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, he couldn't bust a rhyme a cappella.
Yeah, I could probably battle him.
I'm sure I could battle him up on a good day.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure everybody would want to see that. Us battling. So this is
off TaskTalk.
Yeah. Oh, is that what we're calling it?
Oh, yeah, OTT, off TaskTalk.
OTT. This is off TaskTalk, and this is episode 0 of our podcast. Basically, because we're pretty positive we're gonna fuck up.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of the art in it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, we're having this episode to give us a little leeway, so we can just kind of iron out the kinks. And by the time we have this recording, everybody will know what to talk about. So what was our first topic actually?
My flu shot.
Yeah.
It's for the HPV.
Wait. First of all, we didn't even introduce ourselves. I'm Daniel. This is my friend Mitch.
Hello.
Yeah, and this is off TaskTalk. We already said that though. Mitch got a flu shot today, and that is so important compared to everything else that's going on in the world. We want to talk about that first.
Right.
So what happened, Mitch?
So it's the HPV vaccine, like for STDs.
Oh, right.
So supposedly if you get it, like if you don't wear condoms, you're less likely to get disease. I think that's what it's for. And when the lady was giving it to me, okay, like before I tell you that, you know how if you get injected with air, you'll die because like air in your bloodstream will fucking kill you.
Oh, air?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know that.
Well, like she was injecting me like with the shot, and then at the end of it, I hear like like the sound it makes, like when just air is in there. I'm like, oh fuck, and it started hurting real bad, like more than like usual. I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna die.
She was
What's the fucking flu shot?
Was she just like, oh, whoops, or like that's not supposed to happen? She didn't even care or acknowledge.
No, she just put the Band-Aid on there. She was like struggling to put the Band-Aid on like as quickly as possible.
Is that because the air was shooting out and it was like you're like a balloon? Like
I could die any minute, you know.
Yeah, we could all die any minute.
Yeah, but me especially.
The worst way to go out is to
die with the fucking shot.
To die with the thing that's supposed to be helping you.
Yeah. But after I got the shot, I had to wait 15 minutes. So I had to wait until 2:25 to leave, just in case like I had like a stroke or something. She's like, okay, sometimes people react to this very violently. So
yeah, I've been there. Then just like I just want to go home. Like I've done this like a million times.
I put like Alka-Seltzer in my mouth and just start like shaking. Like then someone's like a doctor like rushes over to me like, get the fuck off me, just like don't fucking touch me.
You want to get like a Mentos and Coke or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah. Or you just I don't know what that does actually. Maybe it just gives you a stomach ache.
What if you like foam from the mouth and you just start dancing? Like you just like sort of like break dancing instead of like.
But you're like all cool about it. Like,
yeah, but like
how about you just like, because not everybody can dance.
Yeah.
So what if you just like do the foam with the mouth thing, but that you just like go up to the front office and be like, I have a very important meeting, I have to leave. And then you're just like foaming, but you're like very nonchalant about it. You're like, no, you're staying here.
Just like put the shit in your mouth and just like be staring at the teacher.
I gotta go. You fucking go into lecture like foaming at the mouth, dripping on your test.
I kind of want to do that, just like put makeup on me like I'm bleeding and just feel like one of those blood pills. Me tell the teacher like I feel funny and then like, get the hell out of here, go to the doctor.
It's like turning your test is like blood on it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, that'd be nice. Put like a shitload of blood on your test.
That reminds me. I think there was like one time, just for the sake of being funny, we're gonna tell like another little story sidetrack. Like, I'm sure like I got a test back once, and I don't know. I was looking on the answers, and then like somewhere like near like the corner on the bottom of it, there's just like a booger stain, and I was just like, ugh. And then there's like this whole mystery because I stopped myself because I was like, I don't know if this is my booger or this is like the teacher's booger, like when he was grading it, and then he just gives it back. Either way, it was gross because I just didn't know whose it was. But I don't know. Has that ever happened to you? Just like get your test back and something nasty on it or something? No.
I don't know. When I was like in elementary, I used to like put my boogers on the paper and turn them in.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
So it was definitely yours.
Yeah. So it was that. But I mean, they would always come off. Like I would never get them back.
It's probably because she just like threw them away. Like, here's Mitch's nasty as the fucking tissue exams.
Yeah.
Fucking. Who is your first grade teacher? If you want to apologize to her, him, first session.
Not really. She made me repeat. So I'm like, fuck that bitch. I also stole a bunch of toys. Like, you know those little toys they use as like models and displays for like multiplication. I just took all of them.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because you know, on the free days we could do whatever we wanted in the classroom.
Yeah.
So I just go like into the Tupperware containers and take like I took like a handful.
Oh shit.
They're like dinosaurs and shit. I had an obsession with dinosaurs as a kid. So
I think I was. No, I didn't have a session with anything actually as a kid.
dinosaurs for some fucking reason, and like burning and destroying toys. I don't know why destroying toys was just fun to me.
That was like, oh man, that's weird.
That's
That's like the complete opposite of me. Like when I was a kid, I was just like quiet, and I think I just played Sega Dreamcast at my house all day. I had Pokemon in the Game Boy at school or some shit like that. Yeah. And I don't know, it was pretty boring. But it was fun for me because I was the one playing the game. So I don't care.
That's me when I was like 14. Just like
For real.
yeah. And my mom worked a night shift and made like pretty good amount of money, so she left me like $40, and I would just like get a shitload of like Chinese like takeout delivered to my house. That'd be like
really?
Yeah.
You got like cool allowance though then.
Yeah, but I always spend it on food, so like it's like I wish like in retrospect I would rather have spent that money on like weed or alcohol versus like food. In retrospect.
Yeah, definitely the alcohol.
You know it's bad when in retrospect you wish you would have spent it on some other like elastic good.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, you're not like, oh, I wish I put that into my 401k. Like, you know?
No, I wish I would have bought weed with it instead.
Yeah, the 401ks are boring though, man. What am I gonna do with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna die.
Have a good life, and when I'm old and I'm about to die, and I'm just like, man, I wish I
could leave less money to my kids for making my life hell.
Yeah. Oh god. Oh man, I'm not the kind of. We're in a generation where like all of our parents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you had that whole revolutions and shit, and like they did all the hard work. It's time for us to, have some fun, for them.
I don't know. I feel like we're having a modern revolution where kids are trying to work less and less. You notice that?
Yeah, and then like get paid for it.
and they want more money too.
Yeah, they're like.
And they don't want to do shit. I
know I do. Like I want to be a producer and write books and boring like art shit.
I'll write children's books if I can make like a good living.
Oh yeah, dude. I want to write a children's book.
I want to make coloring books.
Yeah, I want to do something like that too. It's like I draw cartoons, but I wanted to draw like cartoons for like a children's book, and then it was gonna teach kids like morals and values and shit. Because like we don't have enough of that. We have too much twerking nowadays. I'm getting old.
Dude, this is a sidetrack, but my senior year of high school, this last year, we had to write a children's book, and we got in a group of 4 or so. So my friend was like a really good drawer. One was, I don't know, I pretty much did all the work because like it was my idea, and I was like, I'm one of those people where if I have a really good idea for like a group project, like I'd rather just do all the work myself.
Yeah, same.
So the book was The Animated Attic. And there's a little girl who went into her attic, and everything was like anime, like cartoon. But it's like one of the stories where like she's like has no friends or something, so that's supposed to be inspirational in some like way.
Oh, because like she has her thoughts. I guess.
Yeah, but what happened was, all right, I'll just tell you the entire story, and I'll describe the vivid pictures that are true.
Oh, okay. Wait, you drew the pictures too?
I drew like half of them.
Okay, so but the artist guy.
Well, I drew a couple pictures, and I just tell him, I'll just draw like a few things, and then he would like redo it and make it like badass looking. But it would still be fucked up drawings. Like I think
it would still be better. I would just draw it, and he would do it better.
I think I'll just have to tell you a story.
Yeah.
So this little girl, she has no friends, so her parents like invite all the kids from her kindergarten class to come over and like go Easter egg hunting for Easter eggs. And there was like a popular girl in there that like she wants to become friends with. But the popular girl, like she's not a bitch or anything. She just doesn't know like because the other girl is not like taught social skills or anything.
Okay.
So they go over to the house. They're about to search for Easter eggs. Then like she's like so socially inept. She just goes by herself into the attic. And then so like she's scared of it. She's scared of the attic. So she sticks her head up in there. She like kind of like closes her eyes and like takes a few deep breaths. And then when she opens her eyes, like it's all animated, like it's cartoony.
Holy shit.
And she goes around. She finds a spider. What was her name? It was like Madam. Oh fuck! I wish I remembered the name. It was like Madam something. And
Madam something. That's the name for now. We'll just call her that. Madam something the spider.
Madame Petite. Madame Petite.
Madam Petite.
Yeah, she was like a spider.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
You know what? I'm sorry. I skipped like a few like details. Skipped a few details.
So
all right. So at the beginning of the story, it shows a girl in her living room, but her mom's dead. She lives with her dad, and he's like a decrepit man in his mid-40s. Okay. He's like wears glasses and like he has like no neck. Like he just has like spine. Like he has like a crutch and like this little like a colonoscopy bag. And,
oh my god!
And no matter what room I show them in, her mom is like a continuous thing. Is always buried in that room. Like she like on the floor there'd just be dirt and like a tombstone. In every room, they show the house and just have
like
it.
Some symbolic bull.
Well, it's almost like a continuous thing. Like what's it called? Like a continuity.
Yeah, but it was like symbolic of like
a
dead mom. Like they didn't actually have like multiple dead moms. Like
but it would just be in every room they were in.
For every wife.
Yeah.
There was more than one wife. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not like it's even symbolic. It'd be like real. Like it'd actually be in that room, and like they would like be leaning on it, like or they would be interacting with it somehow.
Oh, real? Like what about when they invited the kids from the kindergarten?
Yeah, the mom still be. She wasn't. The mom was not in the attic though. That was the only thing.
Oh, okay.
So back to the story. She goes in there. She meets the spider. The spider like tells her, "Well, I haven't seen any eggs or anything because she's on the egg hunt."
Yeah.
So she they become good friends, kind of. Then she leaves and goes on her she kind of leaves the spider and like goes walking around wondering, look at your boxes, looking for eggs.
Alright.
I'm gonna kill the fly. It was on my nose.
I know, yeah, dude. There was like a fly. It was flying around you. I was like, this place is so ghetto.
It takes a state. But
it's very humid. The gnats are coming out like the gnat right now, even inside. All right, now continue with the story.
All right, so she ran into this rabbit. What was his name? Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit.
No, it wasn't Roger Rabbit, but he wore a suit and like a bow tie, like a red bow tie. What was his name?
Well, that's pretty unique.
Let's just call him
Mr.
Let's just call him like Sir.
Mr.
Oh yeah, it was like Sir something. I think it was Sir Duke. I think they called him Sir
Duke.
So
it's like two titles combined into one.
Yeah, Sir Duke. So he was Sir Duke, and then she was talking to him, and he was like, "Watch out for the spider. The spider's not to be trusted."
Oh god.
And she was like, "I don't believe you." And then like they just went on and on, but they became good friends while they were arguing. And then the spider came out and like try to attack the rabbit, but the rabbit was like gonna attack the spider to save the girl. And so like she starts screaming, and then the dad comes in and he steps on the spider, and then he picks up the toy rabbit. He's like, "What the hell? It's a toy rabbit." And then he's like, "It smells like gas in here." He's like, "This shit can make you hallucinate." And then he grabs the girl and puts her down, like brings her down in the hallway.
Okay.
And it turns out she was hallucinating the entire time.
I was gonna say, I was like, I'm sure like Dad's weed garden was on fire in the attic. And I was like,
because remember she stuck her head up in the attic and took a few deep breaths. And
oh wow.
That's supposed to be like that's the reason the attic seemed animated.
That's like such a cool plot twist, though.
Yeah,
like, I like that.
And then like she has a carbon monoxide, like minor carbon monoxide poisoning. But then the girl, like she's still fine, and the girl's like she becomes friends with other girls, and they find eggs and shit. Like there's really like no subtle ending, except on the last page. It shows like a creepy man at the doorway that says "to be continued."
Oh really?
It was never continued.
Of course not, because there was a project, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would have. See, I wish if it was a real like children's book, I would have kept like. I would have legitimately.
Like kept writing? Like,
yeah, I would have kept writing. Hell yeah.
Shit. Okay. I like that idea. But what about your team? Did they like that idea?
Oh, yeah. But this one girl I'm cool as fuck with, she name's Krista. She'd be like, oh my fucking god, because like, it was so fucked up. Like, I wish I could show you the pictures.
Yeah, I wish you could show me.
In fact, I'm going to get on Facebook and see if I can contact the guy. Like, if he can send me pictures of all the pages.
Oh,
because he has the book. The drawer.
Oh fuck, bro. He probably like reads it every day. Like,
in fact, my best friend now, he had the same teacher in a different period. We found the piece of paper that had the guy at the door, and we just wrote to be continued on it, saying it pulled it to the back of the book.
Wow.
I asked the teacher if she liked the book, and she was like, "No, it was not a good book for children."
Really?
Because if like your book was the best, like you could read it to like children in elementary. So I was like, please, like, I hope to God, like, my book makes it. Can you imagine? Like, her mom's just buried in the living room, like, to show it to little kids.
That's, like, old school, like, children's book, you know? Like, where, like, everything's just, like, totally fucked up.
Like, cartoon, like
Hansel and Gretel and shit.
Like, Courage the Cowardly Dog, how it show, like, fucked up stuff, but, like, since kids weren't as much pussies in the early 2000s and 90s.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing now.
Like, every cartoon on on Cartoon Network is like they literally have a picture for the background, and like that's the background. They have a picture, like
oh yeah, like Scary Monster. Like you do the zoom-ins, and it's just like a very detailed drawing of like the cartoon characters.
Yeah,
SpongeBob did that too, you know. But it was like Gross Out or like Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah,
they did that too.
Or I know it's Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like the skies would always be a picture of like the sky. But like the rest would all be animated.
Oh yeah, where it's like just like a straight up picture, like just like.
But like kind of makes it like gives like that uneasy like settle like that feeling because.
Yeah, because like it's very gritty.
I don't know, like because if you have like two different like art forms together, it kind of like makes you feel like unsettled.
Yeah, something like that. Shit, copyright?
Well, I mean, we're not.
Well, it was only there for like a split second. You can barely hear it anyway.
Well, I mean, this isn't. I mean, we're not making any money off this shit.
Yeah,
so.
that song's played out anyway.
So, like in our last podcast, we'll have to get sued, like because like if they trace it back and back and back to like the first one.
Yeah, you're gonna get like super famous, and then we're gonna be like Sway in the morning. Then they're gonna be like, "Ah, no, you did that with me." They're like, "Ah." And it's not even. Well, it's episode 0, so we can like. This is expendable anyway.
Yeah.
We could just like.
This will just be bonus content one day.
Yeah.
And this will just be like extra.
Yeah. So, I guess what we can do before we go on to the list, now that we were on this topic, is we can talk about what we're going to do for this podcast, y'all. Check this out. So, I think I told you. Like our idea. Well, you told me your idea first. Where it's like we have to do like a chemistry experiment.
Yeah, I can look it up.
Yeah.
All right, the concept for the podcast. Me and Daniel will complete a task that requires some cognitive efforts. We'll always talk about random shit and get off task, while Fresh and Edson do the same task properly, like without talking or getting sidetracked. Like they'll actually in time.
Shout out to Edson.
And they'll openly eavesdrop, and they'll sparsely comment or be like the voice of reason to our otherwise like retarded ass ideas or like crazy ass ideas. And let's see.
So basically, to summarize that first part, it's gonna be me and Mitch, and then 2 guests. Right now we used Edson and Fresh as an example because they were part of our lab, but 2 guests that and we're all gonna perform like an experiment, the same experiment. But since we have a reputation in our chemistry lab of just taking forever.
Well, we get off task, that's the thing.
Yeah, we get off task. We just end up talking for a long time, and it takes forever because for some reason when we boil water, it takes like 2 hours. But so we're going to do that. So basically, it's going to be like that side-by-side comparison of what you should do and what you should not do. And the people that are doing it wrong are the stars.
Yeah.
Which should not be the point. Which should not be the case, but it is.
Well, I mean, what shit's the name? Off TaskTalk.
It's off TaskTalk. You know what you came here for.
To get off task.
Not what you came here for. To get off task. You probably have to do homework or something and you're listening to us. So you're just like us.
Yeah, you got child support or like a job.
You gotta pay your child support.
Got a drug test. Just smoke that weed. Just smoke it.
Yeah, just smoke that weed and then just drink a lot of water.
This is a perfectly good opportunity to throw your life away.
For us. For our podcast.
I mean, for our podcast, we're actually like making something, but I mean, you know, y'all are nobody, so.
Oh my god. That's a great way to make fans right there. Can we call, like,
we lost 10 fans, but we made like 3 even stronger fans, like by saying that.
The ones that stay are like the true fans that like take all the shit that we say. How about, like, because Justin Bieber has his believers, right?
Yeah.
And like, you know, everybody has like their fan names, right? Their fans could be, you guys could be the nobodies.
You just gotta ignore your fans, because Justin Bieber, he really doesn't do anything, and like the fans like fucking love him.
Yeah, they're like chasing him and shit, and like he's like getting arrested, and they're all like,
"Oh man,
yeah."
He could be, if he murdered people, he'd be like Charles Manson, like squared or cubed even.
Dude, are you fucking kidding? Like, low key, if he did that, low key, everybody. If he did that,
so many girls would take the rep.
So many girls would be like, it was probably self-defense or some
yeah.
shit. And it's just like, there's gonna be like a whole fucking Vine on it where he records it himself and he just like bust somebody's head. Like, yeah, that was me. I did that on purpose. And he couldn't defend himself. And they're gonna be like, oh, it was self-defense.
Like a homeless guy begging for change and like he'll just get a baseball bat and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, and then he's just like super rich, so he doesn't give a fuck.
And they're gonna have some shit like blow your head off for Justin Bieber or something.
Oh my god.
Something like super like insane, like irrational.
Did off TaskTalk get too dark here? We can talk about Justin Bieber. That's okay. Let's talk about Justin Bieber. You know he had a roast, right?
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I didn't. I only saw little clips. Like,
Dude,
was it any good? Like compared to the other ones?
It was pretty funny. Like Martha Stewart was pretty fucking funny. You know Hannibal Buress?
Yeah.
He was like, he got up there. He was like, you know, I really don't care for your music. Actually, I really hate your music. In fact, I hate, you know him, you know the reputation between him and Bill Cosby?
Yeah.
How he started that controversy about Bill Cosby?
Oh, yeah.
Like how he pretty much like single-handedly started it?
Yeah, Bill Cosby's pretty much...
He's like, he told Justin Bieber, I hate your music more than Bill Cosby hates my stand-up comedy. And like, he's like, to be honest, he just kept going on like, I really don't like your music.
I just don't like it. I know, that's what I'd be like. That's what I'd hope I could be like. Fucking, like, props to him. Like, he said some shit that made the tabloids. Oh, this is actually a great thing to talk about. Because he said something like, this joke was not aired. Alright? And what he said was basically something, you know, I'm proud I get to be part of this, like, very obvious attempt at being more likable. Like, and I'm not quoting him. That's just, like, to summarize what he said.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, he was talking about Justin Bieber, like, why would he do that? Other than to look like more like likable to like the public and stuff like that. Because at the very end, Justin Bieber, he does that speech, right? He's just like, let's get serious. I'm just a kid, and you know, I'm just like super rich and stuff, and that really sucks because I'm a kid, so I'm not prepared for that. Or what? You know what he said? Yeah. Right? And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, right? And it was just like, I think they were like relying on that one moment. Maybe like the PR told him to like say some shit like that.
Yeah, just like because you know everybody gets roasted has to kind of reverse it, but he like tried to like take it to the next step. He's like, I'm sorry guys, I let you down.
Yeah, like no, like
he doesn't look like a bitch. Like he just
no. Did you see? I saw like the Hasselhoff one. He had jokes and shit like that, and he was like cool, but like Justin Bieber was just like got really serious. And like tried to give a speech that made everybody look like a fucking asshole except for him.
Yeah, because that's what he tried to do. He didn't really make jokes. Like they weren't funny at all. The person who always gets roasted usually has like the least amount of jokes, unless it's like David Hasselhoff or.
Yeah, he fucking killed it.
Flavor Flav. Did you see the Flavor Flav one?
I saw a little bit. I didn't see him talk.
Yeah, Tara was like, what was the name of that? The white lady, remember?
There's Lisa Lampanelli.
There's another one, like some more. Some more, is that who it was?
Some more.
He's like, some more. She looked like a whore, and then like he just like went on to somebody else, and like he just like say one-liners that are like retarded as fuck. And everyone was laughing even harder because like he really thought he got everybody, and he thought he was like super good.
This isn't like a rap song. You have to actually come up with like a punchline. In fact, in a rap song, it's better to have a punchline. I guess that's why he was just a hype man. Oh man, let's start that Flavor Flav beat before we even get famous.
I think I have a Flavor Flav beat on file. Let's check it out.
All right, should I turn down our podcast, our first podcast?
Yeah, just
This is podcast -1, and we're recording podcast 0.
I think this is Flavor Flav's debut album.
Was this after he left Public Enemy?
Yeah.
It'll pick it up. It's a strong mic.
Yeah.
That was a platinum song right there. Like, I know that's gonna go bigger than Jay-Z ever did.
I know that's topping the country charts.
Yeah, I know. Did you hear that Virgin Mobile already bought all those records? So the record's already platinum, just like Jay-Z did with Samsung. So there we go.
Yeah. He bought his own cell phones just so like it would be successful.
Yeah.
I heard that's how Lil Wayne started. He just bought all his. He was rich and he started buying all his own albums. So they got him like charting and then.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh my god, I have to look that up. Actually.
Hey, while you're looking that up, should I play my hit single, the unreleased? This is actually the debut of Mint.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you give it a little introduction, then you play it.
All right, this song I wrote yesterday. Well, when it comes to writing it, I wrote it in about 45 seconds. And then when it came to actually putting it together, it took about an hour. So, I hope you enjoy it.
That's quality right there. TaskTalk in the mix.
That will not go down in history as the greatest mass murder since Adolf Hitler.
Damn, son, where'd you find that?
It's an exclusive mix from Mitch.
We have to keep yelling that's an exclusive mix during the song.
Yeah, and Mix Master Mitch. Too loud. We can't yell too loud because then like freaking librarian's gonna come up in here and be like, "You're kicked out forever." Like.
You think I stayed here tonight? Well, these my trusted men. Sorry that I yielded. You think I'm regretting that I yielded in your heart? You think I'm sorry when I see this crowd here tonight? No, 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 no.
that's the world exclusive of
that
that song. World exclusive.
I'm getting a lot of like messages from people that are so pissed because I'm just trying to record this damn podcast.
I ain't gonna stay in here tonight. Sorry.
You think I'm sorry? Nah.
Hey, should we play that song? Hey, should we play that?
You know what? Can we? We should use that as our intro song. From now on.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just have that there and be like, hey, what's up, little bitches? Nobody's.
Like every 3 episodes, we'll come up with like a new beat.
Okay, yeah. We can use this one for a while. Cause that's kind of dope. That's a good intro song. I like that.
Like literally, all I did was just play an A major, and then go to C, D major. Just fucking around, like in like 5 seconds, I've discovered that.
Wow, it crosses down like that? Wow. We'll go quick into audio systems. Right now, we're both, I'm a producer. Mitch is a musician. I would label Mitch as a musician because he can play like real ass instruments. I can't.
Yeah.
I can play fake instruments. I use lots of MIDI and things like that. That's great. I do have my own keyboard and stuff like that. Right now, if you are beat maker, producer, musician, anything like that, if you're interested in what DAWs we're using, I use Ableton. Mitch uses...
I use GarageBand for the iPad, iOS.
Yeah. So he's got like this whole like... Yeah.
It's pretty basic.
Yeah, it is basic, but like... When you get to a point, like, when you're just, like, recording live tracks, you just need something that records anyway. And, I think, we met in our chemistry lab, like, not even, I guess it was, like, 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Right? And then, if he could get into a studio and he does this thing, like, he plays bass and all this other shit, and, like, it's fucking amazing, but... If he does that, he can bring all those separate tracks to me, and I'll mix them because I've been mixing music. Well, not mixing music, just making music and making beats for a couple of years already. So, like, if you wanted to like not use GarageBand, or at least just like have the ability to say I did not use GarageBand real quick.
That'd be.
Yeah, and then I'll do that.
I've FL Studios on my computer, but this shit is like, so complicated.
Yeah.
FL Studio.
FL Studio.
It's
like
so complicated.
Yeah, Fruity Loops.
Yeah, like you have to know. You have to like take a course.
Oh yeah. I did start. I didn't like start with that one. That was like my second program.
I pirated it, so just. Like,
yeah, well, same here. After like getting the trial version, and they won't let you save your project.
Oh, they don't let you save?
Yeah, if you get the trial version of Fruity Loops, this is a spoiler alert, by the way. If you get the trial version of Fruity Loops, they'll let you use everything, and that's great. But you can't save your project. You can't. I think you can export, but you cannot save your project at all. So, which means you have to do it like all in one go. Which, if you're Lex Luger, that might work. I want to start that Lex Luger beef, because I don't like people who just make trap music and that's it. Because that's just riding a wave.
Well, can you like leave the software open so you can?
Yeah, you can just leave your computer on forever, and then just.
My laptop's on forever.
Yeah, the thing is like, I guess if you did that, you just have to make super sure that.
Ambiance.
Oh right. If you do leave it on, you have to just make super sure that you are done and you mixed it all the way you can, because you can't go back. As soon as you close it, you're done.
You are no longer making music.
Yeah, you're no longer using FL Studio. So me personally, I use Ableton 9, which is the newest version. I think it's pretty dope. It's great for live recordings. MIDI does everything I want, as far as I know. And I've heard it's really good for live performances too. I haven't played live yet, but
we need to someday.
Yeah,
we need to. But you have a keyboard, right?
Collab. I don't know like how to play like like measures and shit like that. You know, I took like a year starting off where I had the synthesizer and I would write patches, which is basically like, you know, like yeah, like you know, like sine waves and saw waves and triangle waves and stuff like that, and then you would write them like, and you could like layer them, like have like a poly synth or I forgot, yeah, like a poly synth, and it's where it's like two waves on top of each other, you know, like straight up like writing your own like programs, you know. So I'm like from very scratch, and the microKORG is very kind of like, right now it's like an old outdated kind of piece of hardware because they only use like MIDI imports. So like when I bought an interface, I had to buy like an old one. And when the guy at the fucking computer store, when I asked him, and it literally was called a computer store. I'm not just like some kind of like
it's called like computer store.
It was called like Outkick or something weird. I asked the guy like, do you have like MIDI cables? Because nobody does that anymore. It's usually MIDI to USB now. But I had MIDI to MIDI, and the guy's just like, that's old school. MIDI to MIDI. That's old school, bro. Like, and I'm just like, okay, you know, like personally, I was just like, even I don't care how old school it is. Like, I still need it. Like, you just saying that wouldn't be like, oh, I guess I don't need it anymore. Like, I'm not gonna. I already bought the keyboard. I already bought the interface. I just need the damn cables. Give them to me.
I was at the gun show one time, and this guy, like, I bought like something like a knife or something for $5, and then he gave I gave him a 20, and he handed me like 35 back. And like I was a good kid. I don't want to do shit to anybody, so I gave him the money back. Like, here, you gave me too much, and I felt like he was like insulted that I pointed out that he made a mistake. He was like, okay, like, he just took the money back. I didn't get shit. I'm like, that's it.
What the hell? Maybe he was like, maybe he was trying to do something good.
Yeah.
You know, and then
he was pissed off that like I'm trying to be good.
Yeah, then he was just like got upset like.
Never have I done something that good and felt like terrible on the inside.
Oh my god.
Like, I felt guilty after I like gave him the money back. Like, damn, that's an injustice to myself.
Right? Like, did you feel like I would have felt like, man, if you're gonna be such an asshole about it, like I should have just taken it.
I would be like, just give me the fucking money back.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh wait, no, yeah, you should have been like, oh wait, never mind, you're right. Sorry. Just like stuff it in your pocket real quick and just leave because like, you know, I'm probably the same way. I think I've had that situation where I give back the money anyway, even if I get too much. But it's like, maybe I was in a situation like that too. And I was just like, I just wish I had kept the money because I was just like, man, this is not worth it. Like, you were supposed to say thank you and, oh, sorry.
Like, okay.
Yeah, and then be like, fuck you. You're a fucking little idiot. Like, I was trying to give you money. Now the camera see us. You know. I remember when I worked at Arby's, speaking of giving too much money, when I worked at Arby's, I went to the drive-thru and it was during like rush hour or something. This guy paid for his food and he gave me like, I guess he gave me like $10 or whatever. So then I turned around and I like get more orders and stuff done, and I had to do a lot of things because I had a lot of responsibilities at the same time.
Yeah.
And then by the time I get back around to him, which it couldn't have been more than 30 seconds, you know, but it was just very fast paced that sometimes you forget things. Even if you're the best at your job, like I was, which is not something to be proud of because it's a minimum wage job, but I was the best at it. He's just like, I gave you a $20 bill. Like, I give him his change, and I'm just like, okay. I just like accepted it as fact because my manager and almost any manager that you get involved with is gonna tell you, and not like, is gonna tell you that like, you know, basically the customer's always right, and you know, and to not be so like thorough about your work as much as it is about getting the job done. So I just gave him the extra money and sent him on his way, and then the next day, freaking manager comes up to me. She's like, "Your cash register is like $10 short and stuff," and I was like, "Oh, sorry, bro," you know. And she's like, "Oh, it's okay. Just don't let it happen again." And then like, what was funny, and like this is the only time that happened during like the whole time in my job, is like the day right after that, she comes up to me saying, I'm like $30 short or something like that now. That's like 3 times as much as it was yesterday. And I was just like, I think at that day I was like tired. It was the end of rush hour and stuff like that. So I was like sipping there drinking my soda while she comes up to me, like with free soda. And she comes up to me, she's like, you're $30 short. And I was just like, oh, you sure it's not like this happened? Or, there was somebody else on the cash register for a little bit too. Maybe they messed up and all this stuff. Like, and then she's like ruling out all my possibilities. I'm just listing them off and she's shooting them all down like, no. And then at the very end, I just kind of like take this breath and I have this soda and I'm just like, well, I don't know what to tell you. And then I take like just a big swig of that. And I'm just like, yeah, and that's the reaction I was hoping for, because like whenever I tell anybody that story, they're just like, holy shit, you did that to your manager? Yeah, I did that to my manager because there was nothing else for me to say.
Like,
so I was just
what
like,
could you do? What?
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know what to tell you because I already told you everything I possibly could think of. And I had no recollection of like losing money or anything. And she just left it alone.
Like
she just went away. I was just like,
so it's actually like the correct response.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, because I've already told her, I was like, you can like take money out of my paycheck, or it's not like I'm making shit anyway. Like,
you would actually owe money to the restaurant.
That's what it feel like, man. I feel like they're like,
They give you like a bill 1 month.
That's the worst shit. Like the fast food jobs. Like, let me. Let's. Have you worked at a fast food job?
I worked at the Spot, which is. You pretty much treat it like you're working fast food.
Oh, really?
Unless you're a cashier, then you're fucking royalty.
What? For me, like being the cashier, I was a drive-through cashier, which means I had to.
They didn't have a drive-through; it was all walking.
See, exactly. But this is the bullshit part about that. Then, so for me, the drive-through that consisted of, I had to put the headset on, obviously, to hear the drive-through. They take the orders, but there's 2 cashiers because ideally there's supposed to be 2 cashiers on each register. So one's taking the orders from the drive-through and one's collecting the money, and handing out the food. But we never have that many employees. I don't know if they're trying to like save money and stuff like that. So basically, I have to work both registers. And our restaurant, which is not that popular. It's,
what restaurant is it?
Okay, I don't know. Can I say that?
What rhymes with it?
Can I say?
Or just write it down for me.
Marty's. Marby's. That was with the M at the beginning. You don't know what restaurant that was.
Do you have any secret, like any like back behind the scenes secrets of like nasty shit that goes on, like in preparation of food? Like this is your
I think I heard a story of like somebody dropping a roast beef on the floor and then they just like pick it up and like put it on the slicer. I wasn't there for that one too, but like my cousin was there when he was living with us. He was there, and that's what he told me what happened. I was just like, that is disgusting because you are in charge of slicing the beef, and sometimes I buy from that restaurant because I don't have enough time on my break to go somewhere else. And I hear a lot of stories. A lot of my friends tell me stories about how like when they had their job, they got like free food. I didn't get free food. They got like half off, which is like bullshit because that place is still expensive. So fucking a sandwich is like $2 with your discount. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Like, you think I'm made of money? Obviously not, because you know what you're paying me. But, like, what's cool is, like, during the night shift, you got, like, the cool managers. I always worked, like, in the mornings, which means the head manager was always there, and all the high school students and stuff like that. I was freshman year, college. These are, like, seniors in high school and, like, and all this stuff like that. So they'd all do the night shift because they work. Like, they go to school in the morning, but I go to college in the afternoon or, like, for a full day and stuff like that. So I'd always get, like, basically things were, like, a lot more, like, unruly, and there was, like, just not a lot going on during the night shifts. So people just, like, frying up food and shit for each other, like, and, like, like the managers can get free food and shit like that. And it's not like they don't get that much more money. They get like 9 something an hour.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. And like they have to like count money and shit. Like I felt so bad for them. Like,
Like there has to be a manager there too. Like they have to open it, they have to close it.
Yeah. And like nothing is worse than like watching a crappy customer like totally tearing into your manager, like especially the cool ones, you know, like just being total assholes, like. And same thing goes for like when a customer's like being an asshole to you, because you're just there to do your job. You don't even want to be there. You're just doing it because you want that. But fucking like when you have somebody cool and then like, you know, there's like somebody like verbally assaulting them.
Yeah.
You know, just like being like, you didn't give me ice, you know. I don't want to. I remember this one guy. There was a fat guy. Because it was getting too serious, but here's a funny story on there. We had a guy, we couldn't understand him on the headset, so I talked to the manager. I was like, "Can you get this guy? Because I don't know what he's saying." And she's like, "Okay," and she couldn't understand what he was saying either. So she's like, "Okay, so what you do is you kind of just guess what they're saying, and usually you're right." But she's like, "Okay, so that's one crispy chicken sandwich," and then he just bellows like into the speaker. He's like, "I don't want a crispy chicken sandwich." Like that's what he, oh my god. So freaking, we're sorry, sir. Please pull up to the front. So he does that. So the way that like unruliness and like people being rude and stuff like that to the employees of a restaurant in America, to any of our like international employees out there, the way that that's met here in America is if you're a dick to any employee, you are gonna get free shit. Yeah. You get rewarded for being an asshole here, and that's a
yeah,
fact.
it's true.
That's total fact. And anybody who does not think that, like, and they're like, oh well, they're not nice to me or whatever. Well, fucking, you probably ruined their life because they probably got fired the next day for like not giving you free shit for being an ass.
You know what I do? I actually give, like, people give me too much money, like the cashiers. I actually give it back because I mean it's free money, but like the cashier is gonna have to pay for it.
Oh yeah.
Unless they're like a total dick or something, then I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, dude. Fucking, I remember like there was a point where like especially near the end of my job, I guess I could say that I got so good at it because it's a minimum wage job. You're not supposed to get tips and stuff like that. There's no thing to get tips, but I would get tips from people in the drive-thru. I'm like, why are these people tipping me? And then at some point, like, girls would come up and say, like, I really like your smile. And if you've seen my face, I have a smile that shines in the night. No lie. I'll admit it. I'm beautiful. But like, no, I'm not kidding. Like, that's what they said.
You do have a good smile.
Thank you.
You could be like president of a fraternity or something. Just like with your picture on the wall.
President of a fraternity, like the one thing I don't want to do. Like,
Hey, you should take a picture of yourself and it goes like a frat house and take the picture down, like switch it.
I should run. Actually, I should run for. I don't know if I can do that. I'd have to join first, wouldn't I? But like, just run for like president of a fraternity, and then just like resign as soon as I win.
Just to say you're capable of doing it.
Yeah, he's got a smile to light up the night. That's like my slogan or something. There's something like cool. We just focus on like the fact that I have a nice smile. That's like my only selling point.
That's your only selling point.
I'll have good relations with any business that wants to play football with us, play beer pong with us. I don't know anything about this shit, man. Like, I just drive home, I commute, and I drive like 30 miles, and I go home and eat microwave food, and then come to school the next day.
I went to like a fraternity party yesterday.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like there was someone who just invited me to go over their match. And like, I don't know, we just had like the most interesting conversation just because we're high as fuck.
Oh, okay.
Like, what if we had ghetto like classes? Like a Ebonics, like,
a
you
Ebonics
know,
class.
like, but required by the state. And instead of like it being Professor like Raw or Professor like Millard, it'd be like nigga Jones or something.
Oh my god. That's more like that sounds like a slavery thing. I thought you were gonna say like Rich Homie Quan or something.
Yeah, like Rich Homie Quan. Like that would be like on like the class when you register. Like Rich Homie Quan.
It's just like, yeah, you go in there, like we said, like our chemistry teacher would be like Dr. Dre. He just comes in here.
And like he would class and shit.
Yeah, so it's like.
But it's like Ebonics. So like, you have to be like what the stereotypical like annoying black person is, but you have like that's like required. And like you have to play like loud like music, you have to play loud rap music on your phone, and like out like on your phone, so it's like extra shitty quality. Yeah. And if you like you're quiet and like respectful, like teacher will get pissed off at you, like what the fuck you think you're doing in my classroom, being all quiet and shit. You making me respectful. You want to make an education?
Yeah, it's like you think you're better than everybody. You just be quiet and shit.
Yeah, like, you fucking Uncle Tom, like cracker, like kicks him out.
Oh my god. So
like
we had a theory. We had an idea. It was like if we had Dr. Dre as like a lab instructor.
Yeah, I forget.
We go inside like for chemistry. You usually go in there. You have to have your goggles on.
But you have to have like you have to have a pair of headphones on. Like
yeah, in this case you have to have like a pair of Beats by Dre on. You're like don't because he said like don't ever come in here without your goggles on. Now replace that with don't ever come in here again without your Beats on.
Well, what would be some other things? Instead of having a scale, we could have like
a mixer.
No, we just have like hype men there, and they'll be like, "Oh man, that shit's real or not." And like they'll be like instead of being scales, like they'll just be like guys standing there like in place. They wouldn't do anything but tell you how real something is, like parentheses real.
Oh yeah, they just kind of like look at it and like hold it. They're like, "There's some real shit right there." You know,
they'll be like human scales. You're like some real shit.
Give it back. You like gotta like measure like the cocaine. And, like this is a kilo. Like oh yeah, 4 cups is a pound.
Oh my chemistry teacher.
Yeah, tell us all about it. Tell us all about your old chemistry.
Fuck, I should have brought my folder because I had all his quotes.
Really? Oh, you? Okay. So Mitch had like this very like, I guess like kind of like a bad chemistry teacher. Basically summed that up, right?
Yeah.
And I get like, so in order to like prove to everybody like how bad he was, Mitch started just like recording and like scribing down what this guy would say. And
I scribed down what he said. Like for stupid enough.
Yeah, for real. Like you got that? Okay, so we're gonna probably talk about that next time.
Yeah. Well, I can give you a little preview now. He'd always make mistakes, like little mistakes, and people would correct him. He's like, "Okay, guys, I make mistakes too." But they'd be pissed off because he's such a shitty teacher and he makes mistakes, and he always second guesses himself. And he eventually, like, people kept correcting him. Like, at this one problem, they corrected him like 3 times. It was like mainly like a couple different people, and even like the TA, the assistant, he like told me, he's like, "Hey, tell him to put a 3. Tell him he got he wanted me to tell the teacher he got the problem wrong.
Tell him to put a 3.
Yeah, and then finally after, I didn't tell him, but after this other guy told him that it was wrong, he's like, he corrected, he's like, "Okay, is that good enough for you guys? Did I do something wrong now? Is it good enough?" And like, the class was just silent, like you drop a pin. Like, not fucking sound, not a creature was stirring.
Well, it's just like, that doesn't make any sense because like if you're wrong, you're wrong. It's just like it doesn't matter how
like
hurt your feelings are, you're still wrong. Like,
I'm trying to remember a quote he said.
Look at these guys running my class.
The quote is, he would prelude into this is he would always exams would be hard as fuck. And like the information he would give you would barely help you. It would help you like through 40% of it. And so he was doing example problems, and he said, "Okay, you guys always say, 'Show me the hard stuff. Show me the hard stuff. The stuff you're showing me isn't helping.' Well, guess what stuff?" He's like, he's like, "You guys always say, 'Show me the hard stuff. Show me the hard stuff,' because you say, 'Oh, this stuff isn't helping.' Well, guess what, guys? This is the easy stuff."
Yeah, exactly. Like,
he always made himself look like a dumbass, and that's like one of like the many quotes I wrote down. And I didn't change them at all. They're word for word. That's what made him so funny because
show me the hard stuff.
Well, guess what, guys? This is the easy stuff.
We're just like talking about like hardcore drugs. Show me that cocaine. Show me the what?
He had like a little magnifying glass he used to play with. He told the class how his wife would get mad at him because he bought like a shitload of magnifying glasses. He had like a collection of them.
Why do you need like a collection of magnifying?
I guess if he was in a different mood, he'd use like a different color magnifying.
You just need like a couple, like if anything, like that's like if you do that shit professionally, like you just need like a few, like you don't need like a fucking box of 100, like. The one thing I remember that you told me about this teacher, this professor, was that he gave you like a measurement chart.
Yeah,
just full of just like, it just sounds like a bunch of like hypothetical like measurements, like really like, it depends on what's in it. Like the biggest one was just like 4 cups equals a pound. I'm just like, I'm pretty sure like 4 cups of mercury like does not equel a pound. Like probably equals more than that.
One cubic centimeter equals a gram.
It's like saying like fucking like a foot is like a liter of Coke or some shit. Like, you know, like it doesn't make any sense. Like,
I don't know if he was just trying to put it in there to make you like try harder to actually look through all this
try
stuff.
harder
To look through all this. I don't know like what he was trying to do. Like Nathaniel, our lab professor that you could hear in this previous podcast, he even like said like he's a dumbass. Like there's no way. Because like Nathaniel was talking about like.
Yeah, you're right.
He teach me about acids. He's like, okay, there's 7 strong acids, and I'm like, there's 8 because the teacher said there's 8. He's like, no, there are 7 strong acids. And like, show me all the shit online. Like, there's 7 strong acids. And, like, I don't know where your teacher got 8 out of. It was like CLO too, and he's like, that's not just one of the 7 strong acids. I don't know, like, that's not even relevant to the strong acids chart.
He doesn't. I'm dying. 4 cups equals a pound. He's just teaching you all this stuff to just like screw you over. You know why? It's probably because you guys corrected him too much. And he's like, I'm gonna fuck this shit up. Like it's like now I'm gonna correct you, and it's gonna be like all wrong. It's like horrible.
It's like, but he quit. He
quit.
He just like right after the exam, he graded the exams and he quit. And then we had this old guy standing in there, and I was like, "What? Is he sub or something?" He's like, "Your old teacher." I'm not gonna say his name for privacy reasons. It's like he quit. He got a better job.
Did he say it like that?
Yeah.
He quit. He got a better job.
He quit. He got a better job.
A better job? Like, how could he get a better job after a performance like that?
Yeah. And apparently he left all his shit in his office. Like, he left everything. Like, he's not coming back for it. Like, he cared less.
Does he really hate y'all that much? Like,
I guess like something.
I'm not making this stuff up, guys.
2 or 3 years, and like on regular professor, he's the worst. He's the worst professor
in the whole campus.
Oh, like he is the worst chemistry one. Like
in the chem lab. Yeah.
So I mean, if you look at worst chemistry 1 professor, Texas State, you'll find it. And you'll like, let's go. Do you want to go to commercial break?
Yeah.
All right, I'll play commercial. And should we play the background music? I mean, the other podcast for the commercial break, or should we like?
No, you play your own music. We're gonna head over to a quick commercial break while we get our bearings real quick and we find out who's the worst chemistry teacher on our university.
Next speaker is David Thompson. Talk about Homeland Security. David Thompson.
David Thompson.
Yes, welcome, David.
I stood over here last thing, Thomas. I'm gonna ask, back a little bit, if when I get into this, if you can give me an extra minute or 30 seconds, and once I get into this,
Sir, I've got to be consistent with everybody. I apologize.
I'm here tonight to request John Walsh of the FBI's Most Wanted to make public and request America's number one public enemy. We have a rogue helicopter pilot on the loose inside this airspace. He's also on the loose inside this country. And I am after this report right here, which is a classified document from the Freedom of Information Act within the FAA.
Wait, what the hell
When
is
I came
this?
down here to speak back in April about the bundling, I went home. I said something because I could back it up, because I went to the Smith Junior High meeting years ago and I reminded you of 4 things I said, which was no smoking, 30,000 seats, solar hot water panels on it, and put ice in the arena. And I told you why there's no ice in the arena. I made a statement, and the statement was the reason there's no ice in the arena is because somebody had their hand in the pie. He didn't want ice in that arena because he knew down the road, just like with the NBA, eventually the NFL and the NHL were going to expand. And if he allowed ice to be put in that arena, that means sometime down the road he'd have a competing tenant, which would lessen his bargaining power at the city of Charlotte. I've been ready to explode like Mount St. Helens since the weekend of May 27th and 28th. And what happened to me was the evening of the 28th, I woke up in my house at late in the evening, early mornings at a.m., and my house is shaking. And it's shaking. And it keeps shaking. And it's shaking. It shakes for over a minute to 2 minutes. It shook constantly. And it was the same white helicopter that I saw on Sunday afternoon that flew over my house when I walked from my part of the house to my garage. The exact same.
No,
I won't raise my
I've got Boy
voice.
Scouts in the audience, and they may be getting scared because
That's
of your behavior.
fine. They have a right to be scared because that's why I'm here tonight. I was scared. I was endangered and I was threatened. My life was in danger because we have a helicopter pilot that flew 25 to 30 feet off my roof line between the magnolia tree and the property line for 1 to 2 minutes, and then he bailed out. And I followed him.
Alright guys, I have no idea what the hell we're listening to right now. Mitch just played it and then he left he just left the room. There you are. What the hell are we listening to?
I want this pilot. It's a matter of national security.
Is it
Wherever
this
you
guy?
are, Mr. Helicopter Pilot, come out of your hole. And you too,
it's not
George
him.
Shin, because you're in that helicopter,
tell me,
Pop.
what was
You're
this?
in that helicopter, and you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're gonna pay for it. Good night.
Thank you very much, sir.
I think about that crazy man. He's like, there's ice at the hockey stadium. How do you explain this? Like, well, it's a fucking hockey stadium. That's sorry.
Nice at the hockey stadium.
You hear that?
Oh, he's not here.
Oh, cause he quit. That's why.
Did they take him out of the system?
Yeah, I guess cause he quit.
Oh my god, I'm not making this stuff up, guys.
Well, can we say his name? I mean, should we?
No.
No, it's not relevant to the subject anymore.
Yeah. And plus, there's still privacy reasons. We don't want it to be like.
Yeah, we don't want to put people on blast.
Yeah,
I mean, we do, but like anonymously.
Oh, is it this guy?
Huh?
Just say yes or no.
What was his first name? Miguel was his first name.
Okay. Well, I guess it's alright.
I mean, first names, I mean.
Always, like, bleep it out anyway if you wanted to.
No, I mean, it's his first name.
We're not making this up, guys. Alright. Well, I guess I couldn't really find him. I found a boxer that has his name. And, but that's okay. We don't really need to know anymore since he doesn't deserve that kind of credit for being so horrible.
You know, it's actually starting to get to like him and starting to understand his, like, teaching style. But, like, he quit before I started, like, able to appreciate it, so, I mean.
Yeah, like what, were you actually, like, learning?
Yeah, well, I was starting to. Because I actually, like, because he changed his teaching style up because he knew that everyone fucking hated, like, his teaching style and think he's terrible. He started to change it up. Like, when people started to like him, like, he just quit. So it's like...
Why don't you just, like, maybe it's because he wasn't being true to himself.
Yeah.
He's just like, this isn't me. He's
like, wait, what if he, like, he moves to Tibet, like, just to find himself?
He comes back. He was like...
Like a monastery.
Yeah, he was like teaching chemistry to little Tibetan kids. He came back and was like, I'm not making this up guys. Like, I was like seriously in a third world country.
Yeah, and he'd always say, I'm not making this stuff up, guys.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying that.
I'm not making this stuff up, guys.
And he's got like 4 cups equals a pound. I'm not making this stuff up, guys. Like, yes, you are. Like, that is completely made up.
He said the Earth is 95% water. He was confident. He's like, guys, the Earth is 95% water.
Oh, so I think our podcast is coming close to an hour, and this is episode 0. off task talk. So I mean, we don't want to go too long, right?
Yeah.
I think we can go an hour max. It's almost an hour.
That's almost done.
Yeah.
Well, how much is
So that's pretty good.
Where are we at?
It doesn't really tell me. It'll tell me like in ticks and stuff, but I don't know what the conversion rate is.
Ticks.
I mean, that doesn't matter.
I mean, does our conversation have a tempo to it, or?
we do like a fucking 1 hour rap maybe like.
Yeah, that'd be.
Gonna go do this talking shit.
I would just turn into Lil Wayne eventually, just like bicycle, nigga.
4 cups equals a pound, and 4 cups equals. It's like. No, so I guess what we can close off is what we plan on doing. Like right now, what we've done, and I'll lay this out all out for you, so then you can like talk about it yourself, like and expand on it. So, what we're doing right now is an audio podcast, right?
Yeah, audio fun.
Yeah.
Of OTT off task talk.
Yeah, that was our original idea, inspired by Fresh. Shout out to Fresh, by the way.
Yeah, wherever you are.
Yeah, wherever you are. Apparently, he didn't want to be a part of anything we did.
But he gave us the seed.
It's just, yeah, especially.
Sounds so wrong.
It sounds horrible. Never said.
He gave us the seed plan. The plan.
He gave us a seat. No, shout out to Edson,
Yeah, that's
who
it.
couldn't be with us today because he wants to. He had to go eat dinner with his parents in Austin.
Oh,
Yeah, he's like, I was like, you should say goodbye and come over here right now. And he's like, I would, bro, but I'm starving. And he asked me for a shout out. So there we go. Shout out to Edson.
he's
gonna
really
be
he's our sponsor. Really.
yeah, he's gonna be a future sponsor. He probably has like no money to throw at this show. Like he's kind of like a
Like a social
a
sponsor.
reoccurring guest that we're gonna have. Edson, he's pretty cool. He's probably like high or something. I don't know.
He looks
like,
high all the time.
He looks very high all the time.
I guess we'll have like bonus like pictures of us, right, on the podcast.
Yeah, we probably like take a picture like. Yeah, we need to start doing that. Just like take a picture and
Like-
then like have that like as a cover photo.
Yeah, well, like randomly when we're talking, I'll take like one picture of you, and then you'll take one of me, and then wow, like a random person takes a picture of us.
Yeah, just like this ghetto ass like office in the library.
Just so if we ever become big, we can like sell our pictures. And it's like as like we can like sell a book. Just like
of just our pictures, like, people just staring at our shitty iPod pictures, like ooh wow, like no. So okay, what I wanted to talk about was like how we have an audio podcast, right? And then I talked to you about like the idea for the video, and you said you wanted to do the experiments.
yeah, or
Right.
like just an activity, like
Yeah, well, we wanted to record the video where we do an activity like a lab, and I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anybody that does that, you know, that does something like that.
because
at
it's so
all.
unique.
That is very unique. Like, that's like
But it has to be like something that if we focus and like shut the fuck up, like we can do properly. But if we don't, like it'll make this conversation so much better.
yeah,
If we're
and
off task.
it's so. Well, like that the reason we wanted to go off task and stuff like that is because being off task comes so natural to us. Like it's really hard. I'm sure like maybe like separate like on solo, we do good.
Yeah.
But like if we just like in a social situation, we can't help but just want to have a conversation all the time because if we don't, like from personally, if I feel like if I don't have a conversation, it's like incredibly awkward and I feel like I'm being an asshole. But-
Same here. So
Yeah.
it's like mutual.
Exactly. So that like that's why we talk. But it's like off task, and then you end up making a podcast after 4 months. So I said like when you said that, I said it sounds like a Let's Play, but in real life. But you were like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was thinking like throw out ideas. We could do like a couple of Let's Plays, but like we don't focus on playing the game at all. Really, we'll just go.
Yeah.
We're probably just gonna end up like not playing it really. We're just gonna kind of play, but we're probably gonna talk about something else completely.
But Edson and someone else have to like actually do like the activity.
Oh yeah, true. He could just be like back there, you know. He could just be like talking into the mic with us.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
and the whole fucking time, everybody just like, oh, this sounds like a Chance the Rapper beat.
Oh
Right?
yeah. I
That's
remember
all
that.
they would say like every time, and I was just like, who's the actual artist?
I was like, look it up.
Shout out to Chance the Rapper.
Yeah,
Doing
and
good. Who's the actual artist of this beat, though?
I have to look for it. I can't really name electro beats off the top of my head.
Well, I'll just say, like, he deserves a shout out. Of course, if he's gonna be, like, on this. And remember, this is episode 0, so we're still ironing out all the kinks. We're just wondering what we're going to do. And we're not really asking for any of y'all's opinions.
Because we really don't care, to be honest.
It's not that we don't care. We care. I mean, we care if you care, but we need to be true to ourselves, and y'all know how important that is.
Alright, the name of the song is Summer Dreams by Scream.
Scream? Okay, shout out to Scream.
And Summer Dreams, too.
If we weren't in a library, I would actually shout out. Scream.
I would. If we had a window, I would shout out.
So we'd just be like, Scream! Like, but we can't do that because we're probably going to get kicked out. I think we're on the verge of getting kicked out right now, but...
But before we let him go, I can play one song, just like as kind of like...
Okay.
But it's
so I just wanted to summarize what we were saying.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna do so much. Like, we're not even trying to limit ourselves, are we?
No.
We're just gonna do podcasts, audio, lab experiments. We're gonna play video games.
But the point is, we can't limit ourselves. Like, the point is, it has to be fluid, and it can't.
Yeah. You know why we aren't limiting ourselves? Because when you procrastinate, you don't limit yourself to how much you're gonna procrastinate. You just go. You just ended up on that weird side of YouTube or something. Like, I don't know.
We gotta have a. What do we have to have, like, like the army has like these like leadership goals. We have to have like our goals, and it has to be like procrastination. It has to be like something else.
Yeah, it's like how.
It's like things you
How
shouldn't
far
do.
out can you get from like doing one thing and like end up somewhere else? Like, it's unknown. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
True that. So, with that said, Mitch, why don't you just end us off?
All right. Little head information for the song. If you're familiar with Converse, they have 3 artists, 1 song. Are you familiar?
No, can you explain that to me?
Converse usually gets 3 artists, not like huge artists, but like pretty well known, like Pharrell Williams, Julia Casablanca, and like a lot more like big independent artists.
Are
And,
these like musicians or like visual artists?
No musicians.
Oh, okay.
And or like some like sort of like either singers or like play instruments or like they're producers. And just put 3 of them together, or I mean if they're in a group, they'll just count as one. Like Andrew WK. They had Hobson, I think, and they had these 3 guys, and it was they had a pretty good song. I'll read you the names. Like, I doubt. Actually, I promise you don't know any of them. Shane Wills, a rapper, McWolf, instrumentalist, and Julie G. I guess she's the producer.
Shout out to all 3 of y'all.
And I listened to the song and I love it, but I looked it up, and apparently they all just worked at Converse. They all just. Like, let's see. I remember because I read it online. Like,
they all just
like they're just really good musicians. So Converse decided to produce a song with 3 of them. Shane Wills is from Los Angeles. He's like a sales representative.
Okay.
Nick Wolf, he's a cashier who works in New York. Julie G is from Boston, and she's like another like salesperson at a Converse store. She's like I think she's a manager. It's like, it's so sad because like they're like nothing has come of that song. Like, the song is the only thing. Like,
It's like they just used them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did they even see any of that money?
But I don't think because the thing about these songs is I think it's just to promote Converse. So like there's no money. Like the revenue they make in it is just sales. So Julie
That's
G,
horrible.
Shane Wills, and McWolf are gonna make no money.
That's horrible.
They got to make a song and spend like a weekend in Los Angeles. That's all they got out of it.
What? A weekend.
Los
That's
Angeles.
nothing. Like,
But while recording, so they had a job to do.
They're always working, nonstop. They deserve a bonus of like every royalty they can possibly have. That is their voice and their talent, and it was being extorted by the company they work for. If they did not see anything from that, that kind of upsets me.
Yeah.
As an independent, artist myself, I do not just want to end up being used by somebody. You know, like
Yeah, and then you think you actually make something big.
yeah.
Because I try to look them up. I'm like, I don't know these artists. I mean, they're good, but probably they have some good song. You're like, no, they're nobodies.
Oh my god. All right. Well, other than being a total like. Now that I've totally killed the vibe, like making it sound so fucking horrible, like they were Indian sweatshops. Mitch is gonna play this song by
Right.
the.
So I mean, they don't really have any specific name. Yeah, it's more just the song is "On the Go" by Shane Wills, Mick Wolf, and Julie G.
Okay, so what up? What's good? Yeah, I'm feeling right. Says she feeling like I'm feeling. She just ready for the night. Let's go, let's go. NY City Metro. They say that life's a beat, so I'm finna hit the instrumental. Like I'm on, you know. And they say the flow is just true though. Little kid with a big appetite, so we always hungry for them kudos. Who knows? You know where life is about to take us. So I give it my all every morning that I wake up. From late nights, long days, just dipped out the barcade. Chipotle mac and cheese has gotta be my favorite entree. So all I got to say is let's hit up the Mac bar. Time to leave anyways, baby. They just said it's last call. Dip out, we run around, we turned up, we getting down. Just a couple new friends that met up on a trip in the big city lights, trying to run the town like she know. He cool, you good, me too. Cause living for the moment is the only thing that we do. Never see where the road may take us. Standing tall in the city that we don't know. Never let any hard times break us. You know that we're on the go. Never see where the road may take us. Standing tall in the city that we don't know. Never let any hard times break us. You know that we're on the go. Okay, so we be on the go, go.
That's pretty
On
good.
the go, so it don't matter where we at, we rolling like a GoPro. Low pro skis, you know I got that mojo. You
Yeah.
can catch me out in Soho, copping rings up like
It's
a
okay that we talk over this at this point.
Slow down, just the beast on the beat, but I know now that no matter where
This is
you
like
go,
our outro,
you gotta represent your
I guess.
home. With me and
So-
Julie G, OC to Venice Beach, and we got it out in Brooklyn.
What is the name of the artist? One more time. Shout out to them.
The name of the artist, Shane Wills is the rapper. The instrumentalist is Mick Wolf, and then Julie G is the producer. Julie G, Mick Wolf, and Shane Wills.
That's pretty awesome. It's really got like, I don't know, like the kind of vibe. It's really like,
It's really positive, right?
yeah, it feels good, but it's like it's not corny. It's not too corny that it it turns me off. Like I actually like listening to this.
Like they could have made like an album. Like
Yeah, they should have became like a group, and they're like states apart, which is horrible.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to Skype that studio session, you know. But that's okay. Like I work with people on the internet all the time. It's totally possible.
You know how we do.
Walking these streets.
They should totally do some more stuff together.
In LA.
I know, but they're not even famous.
I mean, that's part of the struggle. They got that under their belt though. They're like, we made bring on the Converse song, you know. They could say that and they could probably like sell a couple gigs easier than most, you know. Wow. They could get on blogs like that too. Just with that that reputation. That's like the best they could take this is like treat it like an internship. You know, and just be like, you know, we had this experience. Then probably sell out.
I'm surprised it had album art.
Well, it's Converse, yeah, they wanted to make their shit look good. You
Yeah.
know, like. Alright, so like that's all the time we really have for today. This is episode 0
Of OTT.
Yeah, OTT, Off Task Talk. I like that title. That sounds like us.
Alright.
OTT for sure. For short. Shirts.
We gotta
for
have
short.
a good like sign off, like so you say like this is us signing off, like OTT signing off or something like that.
This is OTT. We're your hosts, Daniel and Mitch. We're gonna get drunk.
Yeah.
We're
Bring me fucked up.
gonna get fucked. We're gonna fuck shit up. No, that's too. That's too like. There's too much profanity. You can't like.
What if you say? What if you?
cheese?
Oh yeah, someone wrote on the wall, dick cheese, and
There's just the big letters.
and like a dick that kind of blends in with the balls, and like a bunch of teardrops coming out.
just there's just big letters.
Hey, what does the thing say by your head?
I'm gonna read quotes here. With men, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26. So somebody's a feminist up in here.
Yeah, religious fem.
Religious fem. Those are obviously the best.
Religionism.
Kind. Those are the best kind. So, obviously, we're gonna review this before any of y'all hear that. So whatever. This has been OTT. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Mitch.
And
Okay,
we getting the hell out of here.
Have a good night, America.
Have a good night. Stay thirsty, America.
Yeah, that's good.